Hey guys, thanks for joining me. If you haven't been here before, it's Nicole from Dogo Argentino, USA. And if you have, welcome back. You know you're my favorite people. So, as promised, this is part two, why you might never ever want to hunt your Dogo Argentino. And I'm going to go through 7 reasons for you to consider why you might never want to do this activity with your dog. What I'm not trying to do is tell you what you have to do. I have a part 1, reasons why you must hunt your Dogo Argentino. This is part 2, 7 reasons why you might never want to hunt your Dogo Argentino. At the end of the day, you have to decide for yourself, for your family, for your dog, what the right course of action is. I am not here to tell you truly that you must hunt them or that you must never hunt them. You have to make that decision. But I am here to bring you some reasons to think about why you might not want to hunt your Dogo Argentino. So number 1, the biggie in terms of finances. Burn all my money to the ground. There is such a massive financial investment in terms of hunting Dogo Argentinos. Now, some of those investments you can make one time and you're good, or at least good for quite a long time, and others are constant. So what kinds of things are we talking about? We're talking about things like having a vehicle to get you into the bush. That could be a truck, a Jeep, an SUV. You've got to find a way to get there, maybe horses. Huge investment. There's an investment of time, because Dogo Argentinos, like all creatures, learn over time. You can't just have a successful hunt immediately with a green dog. That dog needs to be indoctrinated to the pack to understand. Otherwise, it could do things like just run around and mark everything, which would ruin the hunt because the scent will be on the air and it will alert the game to your presence. The dog might aimlessly wander around. It is a learned behavior, and so the dog actually has to learn. So there's a big time investment. Of course, there's a big effort involved, both in learning for the dog, learning for yourself, and possibly, if like me, you live in an area where there are no feral hogs, that means you're not going to do it that much. You're going to go to places like Texas where they do have a feral hog problem, and here they just don't. So time, money, effort, you're going to have to hook up with someone with experience if you're a novice. These are huge investments. They're not to be discounted, and they're reasons why you might not want to hunt your Dogo Argentino. So let's talk about one of the, what can be for some people, very negative behavioral consequence of hunting your Dogo Argentino. It is going to push prey drive through the roof. So what's wrong with that? On a hunt, absolutely nothing. There's nothing wrong with having enhanced prey drive. In the home, there could be a huge downside to that. That might mean that the Dogo Argentino looks at every single opportunity to interact with another as in predator and prey. That can be a problem for small neighborhood dogs, cats, hamsters, chickens, all sorts of small animals. You're really encouraging, enhancing, and bringing out the wild primal energy of that dog. For some people, that's a negative. They don't want their dog to be more predatory than it already is, and this is definitely a prey-driven dog. So raising the prey drive might not be a bonus to you. It might be a huge negative. Number 3, parasites. Of course, most people are going to treat their home and their yard for fleas, ticks, and other parasites. Obviously, if you're going into the bush, you are not treating that area, and so you might have to spend time getting rid of fleas, getting rid of ticks. You might not even see a tick if it happens to crawl into an area after a successful hunt, and you've got other things like butchering the hog to worry about. So parasites are a thing. I'm not saying it's huge, but it's out there. Okay, what about heat exhaustion? So hyperthermia and hypothermia can both lead to dehydration, and dehydration is the first stage of death. These types of things are uncontrollable. You can't always in the wild stop and cool a dog down or warm a dog up depending on the time of year and the environment in which you're doing the hunting. So these conditions put additional stress on the body of the hunter and on the body of the dogs. So yes, there are ways to combat it, but it's an additional concern that you probably aren't going to have with a house dog. You're probably not going to worry that your dog might lose a toe in the case of hypothermia, or that the dog might really have a problem leading to heat stroke in the case of hyperthermia. So it is something to consider. Hunting is going to void your pet insurance in almost all cases. So if you're worried about raising the cost of your pet insurance or losing your pet insurance coverage altogether, hunting in most cases is going to really void your pet insurance. So of course, that's going to raise your veterinary bills. Of course, if you have no pet insurance, the next concern would be injury. Are Dogo Argentinos injured every time? Not every time, but chances are injury is a pretty regular occurrence in most hard hunting dogs. That could be a minor injury, something like cutting the coat, damaging a paw, or it could be a serious injury like a spiral fracture if a dog gets a foot caught between some rocks or doesn't see a rabbit hole. It could be a broken leg. It could be a huge gash in terms of tussling with the prey at the end. And injuries can be very minor or they can be very major. But it's chances are better than good that you're going to get an injury when you hunt long enough. So of course, number 7, the biggie, the baddie, the one that you can't get away from, if you hunt your Dogo Argentinos, you might have them killed by a prey animal, by gunfire that was mishandled if you weren't, careful. It does happen. Or your animal might be injured to the point that you personally have to put it down. I don't ever want to be in the position where my lifelong buddy has to be put down by me personally because of something that happened in the field. You might feel differently. It is the purpose of the Dogo Argentino to hunt, and so you might feel that this is the right decision for you and your family member. For me, I not only do I not live in an area with hogs, do I not have the equipment necessary or any experience hunting hogs, I don't want to make the investment. It's just not for me, but it might be for you. I'm not saying that it isn't. What I'm saying is think about these things before you're like, yeah, I'm going to go hog hunting. If that's what you want to do, absolutely do it. But just realize that there is definitely a lot attached to it that are negative. Oh yes, I'm out front of my house. At least 2 of my dogs are in the back because I have one with me, and they don't appreciate that I am out here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. I will be back with another video. And as always, hey guys, I so appreciate your viewership. I really appreciate your comments. I started this channel because I wanted to share my opinions, feelings, and reflections about the Dogo Argentino breed, and I wanted to share education that people could access very easily, and I really feel like that has been accomplished, and I thank you so much for that. This was a huge mental jump for me because I am an introvert. I'm normally not used to talking to people the way I do on my YouTube channel, so it's been really, really good, and I can only thank you so much for that. We have grown so quickly, and it has just been amazing. So thank you. There is nothing better than talking Dogo. So like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. As always, have a Dogo-tastic day. Oh, you go boys. Oh, you go boys. Oh, you go boys.